right. Good afternoon, Mary. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm really good, thank you. Thank you so much for meeting with me and allowing me to record this portion of the interview. What
Okay.
I would like to do is talk a little bit about your experience. So, could you walk me through your process for reviewing and processing invoices? I believe that would have been when you were at Duvaswaco.
Yes. Whenever we would get in checks or payments, we would process those, apply them to the patient accounts. Um, we would make sure at the end of the day that everything was reconciled. So all the payments that you put in reconciled with how much you had every day. We did a lot of the payment processing in the mornings. Um, so that's what we did. Now, when you're saying invoices, are you talking about sending out?
No, I'm talking about exactly what you just explained.
Okay. Okay.
And then, how did you reconcile if you had any discrepancies?
Any discrepancies at the end of the day, we would look through basically everything that we had processed. I mean, there could be a penny off and you had to find that penny. So basically we had different payers, and whatever payer, of course, you would figure out, kind of drill down to, where that discrepancy was at, and then you would start from there. So you would go back and look for, say if the payment was 2305 and you accidentally put in 2304, you would be looking for that type of discrepancy. So you would look for that individual amount that was off.
Okay, perfect. And about how many years experience would you say that you have in medical billing?
Almost 3.
Okay,
Between previously at Halifax, I had just started there, but that was at the beginning of COVID, and my kids were smaller then, and no one knew what was going on, and people were dying left and right. So between my spouse and I, we decided for me to stay home at that time, and that's
sure.
whenever I first started. But I was with Duvasako for right at 2.5 years, but they sold out to
Yep.
Venture Health, and then as you know, there was a large amount of people who were let go because
Hmm.
they took their business overseas.
Yep. And that's how we originally connected when we
Mm-hmm.
found out about them closing. Um, so did you do work with paper claims?
Paper claims, I did. We would, if we had to send out a paper claim, we would basically print it. The information was already in the computer system. So basically it was just printing out the claim on the HICFA form and
Mhm.
then mailing it out.
Okay. And then you said that you did have some experience with Medicaid as well, but that's something that you would need a little refresher on.
Yeah, well, the Medicaid, basically it is state specific. So depending on which state you were working or which client you were working, that would be what portal you used.
Okay.
I did use Availity quite a bit to look
Yep.
up claims, to look up EOBs, to find claims
Hmm.
for different payers.
Gotcha. So were you using ability to check the claim statuses or verify the eligibility?
Both,
Both. Okay.
both.
Okay. Great. And then as far as let's talk a little bit about like a scenario based
Okay.
situation. So like if you were working with a provider and they're in a dispute, maybe a denial on one of the EOBs, how would you handle that?
Well, first of all, I would try to figure out, where that denial is coming from and why that claim was denied to begin with. Um, Sometimes it could be something as simple as having an incorrect birth date
Mhm.
or an incorrect last name if someone's name is hyphenated. So I would delve into that first, and then if I couldn't figure it out from there, of course, looking at the EOB, what the denial is, and from there, if I wasn't still able to figure out, what the problem was, I would call the insurance.
Perfect. All right. Well, great, Mary. I'm going to go ahead and stop this part of the interview. Don't go anywhere. We've got a few more
Okay.
things to talk about.